FlyOver State of Film was shot in front of a live studio audience.
Did it. I did it. I did it. I did it. We did it. We did it. We did
This
it.
is all staying in. This is all staying
He's
in.
not editing this out. This was recorded on March for those of you that are watching on December.
Shut the fuck up.
Damn, you stepped on my joke because I was going to be like, hey, happy St. Patty's Day, guys, and to the people watching this, Merry Christmas. But it's late.
No, I had a joke already.
Stepped on it.
Guys, I didn't have any jokes. I just support TJ in his slow, Alzheimer's ridden brain.
Thank you.
Fucking Schmeagol just hoarding every fucking episode. My precious!
T just likes him so much, he's like, I'm not putting these out. These are for me.
All right,
This is my personal collection.
All right, everyone, and welcome to another episode of FlyOver State of Film. If you are watching this episode, happy first day of summer. Also, this is about to be the sexiest episode you've ever seen. We are on episode 69. And I haven't been with a
dead
over
sex.
here. Welcome, my boys, Brian, Yusuf, and Joe. Boys, let's get sexy. How you doing?
I'm
I want
fine.
everybody to know that I'm having a beer. Somebody left this at my house. It's Elysian Space Dust. It's an IPA. So every time I take a drink, you see me go, that's why.
I got this thing called the Real Housewives, and it's like the Guardians of the Galaxy, and it tastes like shit. So same thing.
It's an IPA. It tastes like a bag of asses. It's
I have a sour it's a clobberin time.
Ooh,
Okay.
nice.
Ooh,
I have whiskey.
It's pretty good.
Who's on that
raspberry
can? Is that Thing? Thing should be on that can. Who's on that can?
They probably
It's-
don't have the.
So
ice actually
it's
put
fruit filled with the shape of the thing.
Okay, all right. That's fair.
Cool, man.
That's all right. I'm into that.
sour?
That's fine.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
love sours.
raspberry marshmallow.
As long as there's a thing
cobbler.
reference in there somewhere, that should be.
Yeah,
badass.
no, it's neat. I just honestly on camera read the name for we just put two and two together.
Turtle at first.
Dope,
I
dope.
didn't realize I had it in my fridge until we started.
This is. I feel like the internet was missing this content.
Yeah,
what?
absolutely.
Talking about
There's not another podcast on this planet that compares movies with beer in
No.
its intro ever.
Yeah, we're the first people who thought about having beer while we podcast. We invented
With the majority of white guys.
Movie podcasts. I mean,
Absolutely.
you just don't find them.
We just-
rarely find
we
them.
just need. You know what would actually make this podcast better? I know that we can't fuck with perfection, and I'm sorry I cursed because we're being naughty today.
We're a family-friendly podcast, man.
Is that if we had
Bacon
like a
families.
running, it would be better if we had like a running short movie in front of our podcast. Like we have a bit that would be like, we constantly like progress the story slightly forward in front of every episode.
Yeah,
What do
at
you
the
guys-
beginning and at the end, definitely, so that when you like see an episode and it says it's 40 minutes, you're like, cool, 40 minutes of in-depth content. What you really get is about 15 minutes of content, about 10 minutes of ads, and then the rest a storyline by a
Hey, speaking of
wannabe
ads.
filmmaker who's too cowardly to put their shit into just one video and post it on their own channel because they know their fans don't give a fuck, so they force them to watch it at the beginning of their videos instead.
Don't forget to go to bluechews.com.
you can fast forward.
Promo
Okay.
Guys, I am perplexed. I don't know what you're talking about. I think
We're not
this is a
talking about
great
anything.
idea.
I wanted to
This
divert
is
this
a great
conversation because I think
idea.
we need to give a big shout out to Yusef, who sent us all beautiful gifts this week.
Oh yeah.
My toy
Yeah,
is already in a
beautiful.
prestige place on my shelf, so I can't reach it right now. A beautiful Victor Crowley, Toonie Terrors, and a copy of Crocodile Dundee 1 and 2, which I used to have one, and I think I either lost it in a fire or it was stolen. And now I
And
have
TJ.
it back plus sequel. So
and a code
TJ,
for
who did you get?
Wayne's World, right?
no, the code for Wayne's World was on the receipt. So you have the
Uh,
code for Wayne's World.
Oh, I have it.
TJ,
Oh,
who-
you know
what
who has
code-
it? The garbage man, because I do.
I hope he actually finds it because he deserves it. Wayne's World 2 is
Yeah.
awesome.
People famously go through landfills looking for Wayne World.
Well, I know
codes.
that garbage men go through every piece of trash they pull out. They don't.
Yeah.
They're not busy or anything, so they
But
just
wouldn't
sit
they
down
want that Emilio
and they sift through
Estevez Charlie
receipts
Sheen
for any
movie?
accidental things. Like if you throw away a gift card that's got a couple cents on it, garbage man gets that. That's his.
That's how they
Yeah,
make.
it's the finder keepers rule.
Mhm.
The finders
They
are
deduct it from their paycheck because why would they pay them living wages?
Right.
some
That's
garbage
just-
men donate DVDs to the Goodwill, and then you end up getting them in desperation, and they still don't do what you need them to do.
Speaking of DVDs, you guys watch anything new lately?
Well, I've been catching up on a show that I had only seen the first season. So I'm watching Last Man on Earth, Will Forte.
Oh, it's so
Uh,
good.
Oh, that
It's
show's
good. I'm
great.
into the third season now. It's good. I've been enjoying that
I
very much.
Fell off after season 3 or 4. I forget.
There's only 4. I mean, it ended after
Yeah.
4. So I'm into 3. I'm excited to keep going on that. And then I watched a movie last night, and this will all the bad movie heads up in here will appreciate this, called Grand Isle, I believe.
Oh, I watched it too.
And yeah, me and Joe actually watched it together. We were cuddled up, we were spooning. But
Yeah.
Oh, what the
it
fuck?
was stars Nicolas Cage and Kelsey Grammer, and I do have to say I won't spoil it,
Oh,
but I
it's-
was sure I was 100% sure they would never appear on screen together, and they did. So there you go.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you, Brian. I fell asleep about an hour and 20 minutes into it.
You did not miss much. It wasn't as
'Cause
bad
guess
as the
what?
reviews. I'm gonna be fair. It wasn't as bad as the reviews. It made me think it was gonna be. But it
it
was
had,
straight to Netflix fare. It was on
It
Hulu,
was
like-
funny because it had very much like it sounds weird to say it had layers to it, but it had little more than just like a straight storyline that I
Yeah.
thought it was gonna have.
the lead was not good. Like
No.
it's one of those movies where they spend all their money on getting Nick Cage and Kelsey Grammer, and then their leading guy, he sucks.
And
That's a
Kelsey
shame.
Oh, he
Grammer-
wasn't the lead.
You could tell Kelsey
No.
Grammer at about 3 days.
Oh yeah, he did. They did one day where he was in that room doing the interrogation, then one day where he's outside the house at the end. Boom, done.
You know
So-
that I've been if there's any fans here that started from the beginning, you know that I've been saying that
Late
Frasier has
Steph
to
gave
come
up
back,
on us.
right? I mean, she hasn't given up. It's just there's nothing to watch. So the
You really set
You know that
yourself
I've
up for
been-
that one, man. Come on.
yeah, this is your fault. I've been a Frasier fan, blah blah blah, but like I've heard that literally nobody's coming back for the reboot. Only Kelsey.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
heard only Kelsey Grammer, which that bums me out. And it's like,
Yeah. I
was
especially with
hoping
the
not.
caliber of stuff Kelsey Grammer's been doing, he's only in it for the paycheck, so that's not making for a good show.
I was
I'm not
hoping
excited.
Niles, I was hoping David Hyde Pierce and
Not even
Roz.
Daphne or.
I was
or
gonna say,
Rob.
what's David Hyde Pierce up to? None of those guys are really doing much. Like, they could come
Who's
back.
counting his Frasier money, baby.
Yeah,
They
that's
might.
fair.
You know what? I know Yusuf sounds more. He's on the post.
Don't
It's
need to,
probably,
he
those
doesn't need to
characters-
lower himself. He made that
Those
wine
kind-
killer movie.
That was good. They
And
probably
Wet Hot American Summer too.
That was 20 years ago.
I'm saying that. When was the wine thing? Like 15.
That was like 2008 or something.
Oh, was it really? Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
The Perfect Host, if anyone's wondering.
Yeah, it's so good. It is quite
but-
good. I'm not going to lie.
They were saying, I mean, I could see with the Frasier thing though, which no one should be excited for. Is like they show up like for the pilot like once just to be like, see, we got David Hyde Pierce and Roz, like there's a reference, or like they're on a phone call, and then it's just Kelsey Grammer like doing it with his like son or whatever the fucking plot's about.
I have to say, not all the the revivals have been terrible. The Will and Grace revival is actually pretty good.
Was it?
Yeah, my wife liked that show, and she got me into watching it. And like, I don't It's not my favorite, but I can definitely sit and watch it. It's not offensive to me. It's not, and I don't mean because it's a gay show. I mean because the sitcoms are terrible.
No. But how's speaking of that? But how's the Punky Brewster revival?
Oh God! The only reason I remember anything about Punky Brewster is because that girl had that crazy name, Soleil Moonfry.
Well, actually, I bring that up because we're talking about stuff we just watched, and she made a documentary called Kid 90.
Yeah,
and she filmed everything from her life. Like she was always had a video camera, and if like everyone here, like if you know the people like the teen heartthrobs of the '90s and like all
Jonathan
the main characters, Jonathan, everyone circulated on her life, and it was actually a really like sad and like insightful documentary. It's on Hulu. It was,
I'll start watching really... Pen 15 too. Everybody keeps talking about how good that is.
Yeah, that is some cringe.
Yeah,
but Kid 90, if you're looking to kind of get in your 90s feels, but also feel kind of sad that everyone committed suicide, like good documentary. No, that's what the documentary's about.
Yeah, no, I know, I get it.
But I watched Judas and the Black Messiah before it left HBO Max. I see why it was nominated for an Oscar, but I also like the acting drives home the whole movie. Without their performances, I think it's just a kind of bloated film.
Deep.
Yeah, I almost hit play and then I saw it was like 2 hours and 10 minutes. I was like, ugh.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, it's 2 Snyder cuts.
Ugh. Who wants to watch 4 hours? Dude, it's Lord of the Rings is by far one of the best movies ever. And if you told me that it was 4 hours, I would go like, no.
I almost thought about a topic. Do you have of favorite movies that are over 3 hours? Because there are some good movies out there that crack 3 hours.
Wolf of Wall Street.
But save it. Save that. That's a gem. Save that gem for some week where we can't remember how to come up with a topic.
You know what though? I want to say this.
TJ saw it, but you didn't see it, right? Why didn't you see it?
Well, why didn't I see it? Oh, I'm so glad you asked.
Yeah, because this
smooth,
is totally
guys.
natural.
So smooth.
This is not prepared.
So, guys, and you'll see the follow-up this in...
Dude, I love the magic... Wait. I love the magic trick of TJ. He turned an IPA into a Pabst Blue Ribbon. That was impressive.
Yeah?
Yeah, I can only take so much.
You wash it down with a Pabst, right? You take a drink of the IPA, wash it down with the Pabst.
Speaking of Pabst Blue Ribbon, the 4-3 of beers.
4-3 of beers. Now, explain to you never know, our viewers might not know what a fool. Can you explain what you're upset about, Joe?
Yeah. So Ryan, sometimes most movies are in 16:9 or widescreen, and
I was talking about Harrison.
Oh, sorry, Harrison. My bad. So modern movies, a lot of movies, and not so much modern for like the last 40 years. A lot of things have been in widescreen when they're shot. In the 90s and 80s of video, they were converted to 4:3.
But now TVs are like that. You don't even get the box.
So the box TV, like when you watch an old episode of The Simpsons or Frasier, it's in 4:3, and it should be in 4:3. But Zack Snyder decided to, because his movie was shot in IMAX, even though this movie was literally free position to go onto streaming.
$70 million.
I'm gonna defend them. I'm gonna defend them though, because he is an asshole and he's running a cult. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, fine.
Fair defense. The cult's fair.
So there's a 4:3, right? So I turn I've time this afternoon to say I'm gonna watch the Snyder Cut. It's on. I'll work. I'll be able to watch it. If I'm gonna make fun of it, I want to see it. I don't want to just be an asshole saying it's bad.
I'm gonna make fun of it. And I'm not gonna watch it, Joe.
Okay, just let me finish what I'm saying.
You're not better than me.
So anyway, I have a 24-inch box CRTV for retro gaming because it looks better for my N64. And I was like, I didn't realize it was on 4:3, so I said, let me try to figure out a way to put the Snyder Cut on my TV. So I spent an afternoon. I went to my neighbor's. I got a PS2 thinking I could plug in. I actually torrented the Snyder Cut so I could get
Get him.
So
get him, FBI.
so I could get the file to put on a hard drive. Put it on the PS2. PS2 does not play shit. Then I drove to a Goodwill, which is 5 minutes away, to buy a $10 DVD player that had a USB input in. Plug that in. That also did not work, and I spent a long time trying to convert files down. Hopefully it would work. I've given up on this, but not for so long, where I have ordered a converter from an HDMI to an AC.
He was so
to an AV.
bored.
He was
so bored by your story, Joe. This is your fault, okay? This is your fucking fault.
I'm just gonna put sad music behind the whole thing.
Bored him so much that he fucking hung up on us.
He said,
fine. One cares about. I don't care about Joe's story anymore, and he hung up. We lost Dad. We lost Dad because of your fault.
But to be fair, a lot of people are buying older TVs to do older video game consoles and shit.
I have 2 box TVs because I still have a Genesis and a Super Nintendo.
So anyway, to be continued. But one day I will watch this movie, and I'm only watching it on the box TV. How Zack Snyder intended it. That's
Clearly,
all I'm.
That's what he wanted.
Yeah, I heard.
Not my forte. You fucking 60-inch TV.
I saw an interview with this pretentious asshole that he said that the reason why he wanted that aspect ratio is because normally superheroes are never shot vertically. They're shot in square because of the comic panels. They're usually square.
He's bullshit. He's full of shit because
again, spoken like truly like a
man
who never read a comic book before. Like every time he opens his fucking mouth,
like I saw a fucking tweet about the Snyder Code. It was like every frame is like a fucking painting. No, it's not. You didn't fill your canvas.
No, there's actually like I enjoyed it. I had fun with it for what it was. It's definitely better than what it was, but there's definitely like noticeable rough CGI, like.
But it was intended, TJ. That's what he intended.
Yeah, I mean, if that's how superheroes have been shot since I don't know Green Lantern, I guess sure. But like, a lot of the group scenes and like in the Force like rush scenes of action.
Oh shit!
Like, it's just looks rough from like 2008. But then there's scenes that Zack Snyder does some things every once in a while. Obviously, he's a better cinematographer than a director. But
time out. There's group scenes.
What do you mean?
There's group.
There's cuddle puddles.
Yeah, they
all take Molly and they all get into a room together and they get real sexy.
Nice.
This episode's about sex, guys.
Yeah.
This is episode 69. This is not episode 43 about Zack Snyder. All right. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm over it.
He's done.
How about we talk about a sexy movie then?
Let's talk about sexy movies then.
All right.
Is it time to? Because what episode is it, guys? Did we talk about what episode it is?
Episode 6.
Wait till episode 420.
Party up in here.
It'll be the sleepiest episode there is.
Right. Well, I was gonna say penis vagina, but it's just private part. Whatever.
TNA, baby. TNA.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, 69 for all ages. Fun for all ages, man.
For all ages and sexes.
So. Oh my
damn!
Think of that hot con. Woo.
Might as well just take it all off, dude.
So I asked the boys.
There's still more time in the episode, man.
Now we're old, jaded, cis males. We've seen enough boobs and male butts in Hollywood to not find movies generally sexy. But I wanted to ask them, what was the first movie that you felt like, damn, this is a sexy movie, or where you were like, damn, this is as close to like, I'm getting away with something here because I'm watching something that I shouldn't be watching. That type of movie that you go like, So I'm gonna start because I didn't say anything in the beginning. I was very quiet. I didn't interrupt anybody.
Sure.
I saw as a kid, and I probably saw it way too young. Basic Instinct. That movie is. I bisexual fantasy. Sharon Stone having same-sex kisses. Michael Douglas having rough sex with
Gene Triplehorn.
Yeah, I forgot her name. Yeah, and Sharon Stone. Yeah, it's a lot. That movie's a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
Ever
like
since
everybody talks about the beef shot, but really, it's like it's one of those. There was like these erotic thrillers that used to come out in the '90s that were horny and like,
horny
but
as
also
hell.
like actually good movies. Like nowadays,
market.
erotic thrillers are pretty much Skinamax. Like they don't make like quality erotic thrillers like that anymore.
What's the one with Kim
Go.
Basinger and Baldwin?
8 Mile.
No, isn't there one with
She'd be fucking in 8 Mile.
Oh, she be fucking in 8 Mile.
Michael Shannon too.
Yeah.
Oh, it is Michael
That
Shannon,
was a
isn't it?
topic I had at one point of low key roles Michael Shannon pops up in. Because he's
so many of them, dude.
He's in
Uh,
back Groundhog Day.
Yeah, that's what inspired that question.
WrestleMania.
He's the
Woo!
WrestleMania
Oh,
kid. Yeah,
shit.
the guy who gets
Sexiest
married.
man,
Bad Boys too.
While we're talking about sex, let's talk about the sexiest man in cinema, Michael Shannon.
Michael Shannon
Oof, yeah.
is sexy
Not
in
hard
a
to
sense
look at.
that if I say no, he's gonna kill me. That's that type
I
of
actually never saw Basic Instinct. I think I've only like YouTubed the scene with the beef.
It was a big
But-
deal.
But like,
Oh, it was
Yeah,
like a
that
cultural
was-
touchstone. Like,
Yeah.
people talk about that shot.
Oh,
Like-
and you get to see shadow Michael Douglas penis and ball shot too.
Kind
yeah.
of like Ben Affleck and Gone Girl. You get like some side hog.
Yeah.
yeah,
Michael Douglas is packing.
he
What's
probably.
that movie? I'm thinking of.
Well, there was this. I'll jump in
Disclosure.
now. I mean, like I've seen horror movies as young, like super young as a kid. So like Ghoulies go to college, and like I mean, you're seeing tits and ass at that age, but like
Yeah.
nothing that like you're
Harrison's
like
10
kind of like
now, and I've basically like, aside from like movies that are they're crazy sexual, it's like if they just got some boobies in them, it's like
Yeah,
let that
but
ride. You know?
yeah, every once in a while when I hit like 12, 13, every once in a while you'd get like, you know, I came from a middle class family, like we didn't have like the HBOs, but every once in a while you got like that free week or like month of like HBO 1, 2, and 3, and there was one movie.
Oh.
What? Oh, real
I thought we were
sex.
about to talk about real sex.
No, there's this one
Oh,
movie
you're
that's
talking
been
about
on for
sex.
a while, and this one was the one where I was just like, all right, mom's asleep, everyone's chilling, and this one stars Kevin Bacon, Matt Dillon, maybe, God, what's her fucking name from Nev Campbell and Denise
Yeah.
Richards.
Wild thing.
Oh my
Every
god.
teenage boy who's ever fucking come across that on HBO freezes and just has a moment. And it's just like, especially that scene where it's like them,
When you get to see Kevin Bacon's dick, that's
bro,
so.
the whole thing.
Everybody wants to see some
God.
stem, baby.
There's no slowness to it. It's like probably one of the craziest sexual thrillers I ever saw growing up there with Basic Instinct type shit. But it's like you were saying, it's basically a Skinamax episode, but with good actors in it. And a pretty good story at some point. They definitely like do some crazy
Really?
shit.
The story?
Oh, the story is
Bill
there-
Murray's in
someone
that.
dies, and then someone gets blamed for it, and then someone else is trying to get. I don't know, man. But they
Yeah, I
have
read
sex-
Playboy
I
for the
remember being
articles, right?
shocked.
Nah, come on. I know what's up.
I remember
So,
being shocked
by the
by
way-
a twist.
For the record, I was thinking of the movie Fair Game with
Oh,
with,
good picks.
Cindy Crawford.
Cindy Crawford and
Ooh.
Stephen Baldwin. That
Yeah, so
train
that's not my
scene.
pick. That's just what Yusuf
That's a
said.
good one, though. That's a good
Oh,
one.
yeah, that's the skin. That is the
That's
we
like
want to make porno.
that was
with-
like
Oh,
it's
no.
a Skinamax movie, but they spent real movie money on it, like and put it out in the theater. That was like Cindy Crawford's only movie.
What
as
about
you guys as you guys could imagine, I thought of this question differently than y'all thought.
Always do.
Is it gonna be Shrek?
Do I need to learn your language? Am I
No, I
I-
think
I-
you're saying so.
every time I tell a question?
I know
you-
what it is. I know what it is.
This is why
Well-
he couldn't beat us at fan friction because
It's
he
the-
can't define the question the right way. He can't.
Joe's movie is the opening scene of Austin Powers 2. Who is running around naked. That's
I mean,
what got you.
That was definitely instrumental in my life.
I was gonna say the end of the first one where they're where they're holding the fruit and stuff and hiding their
Oh,
junk.
I
Like,
mean, Elizabeth Hurley did do something.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Hurley holds
asshole.
up that picture of boobs, the drawing, and you're like, you know what? That's almost good enough.
Yeah, that's enough.
It is. No. So what I answered because I thought it was like Oh, what is something you said you thought you were getting away with? So, we had it was like a birthday sleepover, whatever, with all my friends and whatnot, and we rented Bring It On.
Oh,
And
okay.
watching Bring It On, we slow mode the Elijah Dushko flip thing she does, like the scenes multiple times as like fourth graders or whatever at the sleepover, because it was like this movie's fine, but we were all obsessed with every girl in that movie, and that was what my thing
All
of
right.
like getting away.
No, that
So I
counts.
didn't answer
Valid.
that. Okay, all right, because you guys are naming things of like I watched this and this. I'm sure I saw like I remember watching the sex scene in Terminator when I was in the second grade because I rented Terminator and like being like ooh like
Oh, come on.
I,
When she grips those sheets, that makes an impression. Like, when you're a young man,
I
you see
watched
that.
that scene
so
as
that's on there. But the true defining one to me is Kirsten Dunst and Alicia Dushkow and Bring It On.
Liza Dushku.
Whatever.
Eliza Dushku.
Escucha.
And slow mowing the
Ashton
slow
Kutcher.
on the VHS.
Eliza
You know how you could like pause and
Oh,
hit
the tracking and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You do like
Doing
frame
that.
advance.
yeah as a group, as maybe like 4 or 5 like children being like, yeah, this is cool. You can't even masturbate yet. You like,
Yeah.
Onward.
Okay.
this is cool.
You said the
What?
quiet part out loud.
Yeah, man. Welcome to FlyOver State of Film. If you're
Brian,
that
did you
was mine.
masturbate too? Then?
Oh, well, I mean, too many things to count. I can't even. I think I've already mentioned, because I know we've talked about it during the horror episodes, that like Carrie, the shower scene in Carrie,
Yeah.
was like a big one for me. So I wanted to go with a little different. I wanted to like kind of hook up it on what Joe was talking about when you feel like you're getting away with something. I remember one time my mom was out of town or something, and I'm staying over at my aunt's, who like, I was close enough with, but had never like stayed at her house or anything,
Mhm.
and I'm up late, and she's just got like a big TV. She's like, "Oh, watch whatever, it doesn't matter." And I'm pretty young here, and I put in Big, and there's the scene in Big where she's in her bra and he like touches the
Yeah.
boob and stuff. And I remember really feeling like I was getting away with something by watching that scene by myself in the
great
dark in
scene,
the middle of
too.
the night. Like, ooh, wait, he's touching a boobie.
Leave the lights on.
That's hilarious.
I love it. But there's just really a lot of those. I mean,
Oh yeah, you know one that I don't know why it came to my head, and I feel like it's because I saw it as a kid. I feel like it's in my archives of movies. It's one of the sexiest sequence of movies of sex scenes that I've ever seen. Is the Thomas Crown Affair, when Russo and James Bond are having sex in the stairs. And they're sweaty, and she's like scratching his back. I remember being as a kid, I was like, "Oh my god, what is
Well, I remember
happening
that was
here?"
a pretty big deal at the time because she did nudity and she was like in her
Yeah.
40s. And everyone was talking about how good she looked and stuff.
Yeah.
so
Oh, yeah, it's amazing.
One thing I
so
was gonna say, and I was like, it's one of those things like I'm not sure I want to admit, but hey, you know what? We're open here on this pod and nobody's watching. So, one thing that always resonated me with a kid, and that's probably why they're in the movies, is all the creeping and peeping that you see in 80s movies and stuff. Looking in the window in Animal House, looking in the shower stall in
Porky's and
Porky's.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah, like all that stuff was like, ooh, because I mean, and it's because not only are they seeing, but you're feeling like you're seeing something you shouldn't see too. So all that registers for that.
What about like
so
I was gonna say, like, what about like weird movies? Because like I was talking about this
Weird
subject.
Science. That one
What's that?
too. I felt Weird Science. You said weird movies.
Yeah.
Weird Science.
Well, I was gonna
with
say
the
like this isn't even
Jungle
like
Book.
weird. This isn't like a
Christmas
movie with weird
Vacation.
shit, but like
Oh, sure.
actresses that like aren't very sexual. I mean, but they
Yeah,
I don't know
Christmas
they are,
Vacation.
but like Molly Shannon and Superstar,
Oh
Okay,
no, I know
alright.
Mario
exactly.
Carey. Every time she like did something, like it's just something about those two actresses. They
Well, and
don't
it's the
really,
thing
like-
too, and especially when you're young and you're like you're kind of learning comedy or whatever, but
Yeah.
also you're like seeing women's panties, and you're like, this is funny, but also I'm feeling weird about the kind of sexual element of it too.
really
I-
humping that tree in a weird way. That's kind of
I
Yeah.
and like
It's especially when you're a kid. Even the a stiff wind would come and you get a stiffy, so your hormones are crazy. But seeing like a bra strap, I remember like in movies, I would be like, "Oh shit, I
Yeah.
seen a bra
Not so,
strap."
not so much
me, it
in
was the
movies,
whale
but I
tail.
remember like in my life when I was like in 7th grade or so, realizing that you could like see girls' bra straps like in their shirt or their space shirt and being like in real time, being like, "There's just bras everywhere." I mean, hold on, I'm gonna need a minute here.
Yeah, I'm not gonna answer any questions.
So one thing you just like triggered a memory of mine is, and I guess this would be a confusing boner more so.
Okay, I like where this is going already.
Is
over the top.
Oh baby, it's always over the top. It is in Devil's. I probably told this on the pod before. In Devil's Advocate, when you're seeing the women change and you see the nude scene, and you're like, "This is nice." And then her face goes to like a demon.
We see the hands under the skin there too, right? Where it's like hands under her skin and stuff.
So, from my memory, though, I don't remember the end, like skin, all that stuff. I remember the woman who looks like she's every yogurt commercial.
Sure.
The friend. I remember she's getting changed in the dressing room, and I'm 7 or 6 when I'm watching my parents, and of course they saw it. And they went, "Cover your eyes," but you're doing this.
Yeah.
I remember going like this, and then as soon as the demon face going.
Yeah. Oh, I really wish I wouldn't have looked.
Yeah, but
you know what? You know what's a same sequence? The Shining.
Yeah, that's another
Absolutely.
And you go like nice, and then she turns into like the old lady decomposing.
Yeah. I got the old
going well.
100% doesn't work on me anymore though. Is like the old lady naked gross out like medical profession. I've just seen so many bodies, man. It's just
in like the Witch and stuff like that.
I have the old.
Do it all the horror movies. Do it all the time. They'll pull a naked old lady out to try to freak you out. Like that's such a cliche in horror movies.
It didn't work at all.
Yeah.
So I'll say this last one, then we can move on. But this is probably the ultimate weird one that I still have a little bit of a thing for. Female gremlin from Gremlins 2.
Yeah, baby, yeah.
She's got some gams on her, baby, and I'm just like, hello. And the calf muscles, man, come on.
We didn't even have to bring up Jessica Rabbit, right? Like we all know.
Yeah, and Lola Bunny. We can also talk about Lola Bunny. How she's not.
Is it weird that I think Lola Bunny's hotter now? Am I having a problem?
Just as fine. I don't know why they just took away her big old tits.
Yeah, now she looks more like Bugs Bunny when he dressed as a woman, which is more what I'm attracted to. I think.
Yeah, Marilyn Monroe thing. It wasn't.
I just.
Well, how about we kill all the boners that are around us right now with
they're just floating around.
Yeah, they're everywhere. TJ, you have I think it's you, right? Unsexy movies or Brian?
Oh no, that was my topic.
Brian.
My topic was movies that are trying to be sexy and fail. Like, what's a movie that presented itself, or maybe even didn't, but maybe you went in thinking it was going to be really sexy? I'll open it up in case you're having trouble answering the question, but I have an example if you guys are interested. If you guys want me to go first.
Oh, please do.
My example was a little movie, I don't know who remembers it. It starred Dana Delaney. It starred Dan Aykroyd. It starred Rosie O'Donnell. It's called Exit to Eden.
Fuck is that?
Anybody? No? Okay.
Fucking old, man.
No, but the thing
that's
is,
that's some bunker picks right there.
So bizarre. This movie's so bizarre, it stuck with me forever. So, like, this is right around the Flintstones era, so Rosie O'Donnell is, like, at her thinnest. And they're like, we're going to try to sexy up Rosie O'Donnell. So it's a movie about her and Dan Aykroyd are cops, and they're trying to, I don't know what the crimes that are happening, or they're following a jewel thief or something, but they basically go to this like hedonism island where it's like a sex island where there's all these like, dominatrix and weird sex games and shit. And so you get like Rosie O'Donnell done up in leather and Dan Aykroyd in a gimp mask. And now, to be fair, Dana Delaney plays like the head mistress of the place, and she is smoking hot. She looks amazing.
I can't think of who that is. Can you help me out?
She's also the lead. She's the female lead in Tombstone, the one who gets together with.
Saw that.
Oh God!
I
get out of my
shirt.
I knew it.
But anyway, Dana Delaney is. Look her up. You'd probably recognize her. She was the voice of Lois Lane on Superman the Animated Series. If that helps anybody. But anyway, it's specifically what I was thinking about, a movie that is like set on a sex island that is all about literally everything about it is trying to be sexy, and it just fails a lot from the casting. I'm not gonna lie, the casting,
but it's trying hard to be sexy.
But it's trying so hard. It's like literally being about sexiness, and it can't. Yep, there you go. Look at
wow.
He's got it.
Oh, Rosie looks good.
Oh wow, Rosie is.
No, I said Rosie was in her. This was like the Flintstones era when she had just played Betty Rubble, and she was pretty thin. Like,
Oh no, Rosie looked great as Betty Rubble.
Rubble's hot.
yeah, she looked a killer Betty
Very
Rubble.
curvy.
I didn't
and,
realize until like the other day that Jane Krakowski from 30 Rock and Kimmy Schmidt played the young Betty Rubble in the sequel. Blew me
Did
away.
she?
Yeah.
Really?
I always
Wild,
forget
right?
about Viva Rock Vegas.
I don't think I even ever saw Viva Rock Vegas. That's probably why it never struck me. But yeah, that's her in that.
The first Flintstones was very big in my household.
Oh yeah, the first one
dude,
was
hell yeah.
I think I was
anyway,
a little.
it's
I was a
not-
little aged out by the time that came out. I was just a
Okay,
little too.
my
old
brother
for
was
Flintstones.
really into it.
I
and
could
then-
acknowledge that it was bad, so I was too old.
The director of the
I saw-
Flintstones made Jingle All the Way. Fun fact.
It does have one of my wife's favorite jokes. She brings it up all the time when he's like, she's like, "Oh, you're gonna have something about having your hands full." And he's like, "You got your hands full when you scratch your neck." It's like one of my favorite.
I have a soft spot for it, but anyway, so God, I can't believe. So I could have brought this up at the beginning of the episode, but I didn't. So because we're doing this episode, I did watch. My wife and I did watch the first 50 Shades,
Oh,
and I know
how
that's
far did you get into it before you started with the?
we finished it.
Wait a
sexual
minute. Like,
tension was probably
wait, him
palpable
beating
as soon
his
as you turned
wife
it on,
or them?
right?
How far into it before you just start punching
punching
her
her
in
in
the
the
face?
I got about 35
It's
minutes
like
into
this,
this,
Brian.
and then I gave
Sorry,
her.
I don't know. I just think about some wet meat slapping together.
Well, that's my time.
Are you
No,
guys
so
watching FlyOver State of Film?
Harrison's not allowed to
did-
watch this episode, is he?
No, I'm gonna have to block this one. Make sure we set this one to restricted. Set this one to restricted.
I did. So I did watch. We did watch this movie, like I think it was Sunday or something. And
thought
I
the
know,
episode
like,
was going to be being recorded soon, but you didn't realize you had all week.
and I know that like the jokes are there.
Cute.
But it's like it's one of those things I was watching, going, this actually done right could have been probably really sexy and
Oh,
like
so many moms were horny for that book. You know there was content there.
but like it's just so not even from like the leads don't have chemistry, but like the content material is so like disingenuous that like Laura Despiza, by the way, she could rant better than I can about it because I truly didn't hate it as much. I just thought it was just boring. But like they
I
just
wish Laura would step in with like a tiny pair of glasses on and like a notepad. Like, yeah, I'm gonna step in here and just like
Laura's review.
but
I
it was
actually reviewed the last movie, and it was one of my most successful reviews. And I just made fun of it because right in the middle of the movie, they had like a huge sequence of an Audi, like the new Audi. And I just kept talking about the Audi. Like every now and again, we just brought up the Audi, like the specs and where you
So-
should buy it and the discounts and all that shit.
So what's funny about it, because we actually watched it right after Judas and Black Messiah, because I was like, I can't let good movie go to
That's a
waste. I
black-
gotta ruin it. No, we just wanted something kind of like to
Beautiful
make fun of and
companion
laugh about. But it's just fucking bad, and it could be
And it's
sexy.
boring too.
It's very boring. But what killed me about it is like it's supposed to be a movie for like women, right? Like women to get horny about, and they do nothing. It's like, let's just watch big forehead naked the whole time. And a guy be an abuser, and like that's the sexual tension. And she asked what a butt plug is. The most self-explanatory thing in the world.
right. It's in the name.
But I
Come
just
over, I'll show you.
I don't know. That's be like I have another answer to this too. That's like in that same category, but also like while reading it, and I could explain why it probably wasn't even that sexy. Is so the director and the original writer, like who wrote the screenplay, apparently they had a fine movie they wanted to make, and the creator of the books basically had veto power for everything.
And she
just
wrote the second and third movie, didn't she?
Yeah.
And her husband
Essentially directed it, yeah.
Her and her husband, yeah.
And like the
That's
first
never a
one,
good idea. Don't let an author become a screenwriter.
No.
It's
And
not the
also-
same thing. People think it's the same thing. It's not the same thing.
an author who
No.
made fan fiction, Twilight fan fiction.
Yeah.
Yeah, just ask the transphobe over there, just making shit.
Right. J.K. Rowling's like turned
Huh?
her shitty transphobic movie came out. And...
So anyway, that would be my pick. I'll wait to hold my honorable mention till.
My pick was, and I don't know why Google reminded me of this movie in Matrix, the
Matrix
rave
Reloaded?
sequence. The rave sequence.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
the
rave.
Revolution.
Where
Okay,
everybody
yeah.
is like just sweaty and nasty, and then sweaty Neo and sweaty
Everybody's just
Trinity.
jumping around and like spewing fluids on each other. Like
Yeah,
in the era of
that's-
COVID, watching that has made me very disturbed.
Yeah, I don't know. It looked nasty. Maybe I don't know. People probably are into it. Clearly, the Wachowski sisters are into it because they filmed it and they thought it looked sexy. But it always irks me every time I've watched that movie a couple times because I fall into that. Maybe
There's
it's
a lot
not
of
as bad as I remember.
to be fair, in that rave scene, a lot of very beautiful people
Yeah,
dancing and sweating
beautiful.
around.
Correct.
Very
People
sexy
with
people.
abs, with
You.
abs, with the V, searching to the tree
A
trunks.
lot of mesh shirts.
Yeah,
You,
beautiful people.
you.
But the
Correct.
sweat and the slow motion always I always go like, "Ugh." I always
Correct.
fucking fast forward through that sequence.
Correct me if I'm wrong, because I generally haven't.
I won't correct you, man. Not
is
here
this-
in front of everybody.
All
I'll
right.
take you
How
aside.
embarrassing.
All right,
geez.
pull me
I'll
aside.
pull you
Let me know.
aside, and I'll
Is
let you
this
know.
the episode? Is this the scene also at the same time when they're in the rave and they're just in that lone room, like clothed fucking on a table?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
Okay,
weird. They're
just
almost
making
in like a mausoleum. It looks
Yes.
and Neo. I mean, I know he's the chosen one. He
Speaking of
clearly
things
has a
from my
curved dick.
childhood,
He has a curved up dick because they're having sex like this.
Oh, do you want to know? You want to know why guys have curved up dicks? I just learned
Sure,
about
like.
this.
Waiting.
sure,
Well, I
yeah.
mean,
So back in the day, cavemen would just kind of dump into ladies one after another, and the dick that was curved up the most was made. Cut this part out. Keep going.
Okay,
What just
so
happened?
speaking
You're-
of
you're
an
not
That sounds
gonna
like the kind
remember
of
to
thing you
cut
hear
out
on like a
I won't.
alt-right website.
You're not
Speaking
gonna
of-
fucking remember to cut this out at all. It's gonna be in
Speaking of
it.
an Yusuf, this isn't the episode of Unlocked Childhood Memories. I remember watching this fucking rave scene with my dad on a bootleg VHS from Chinatown, and us getting to that scene, him not going like go upstairs or anything, and being like, this is boring. Like, because we
Boring
love
and horny.
Matrix.
It's borny.
It's borny. Anyway, my honorable mention.
Wait, did TJ give us a good one?
TJ, did you give us one?
Oh no, I kind of read this question differently. I thought like scenes.
Oh
they
wow, all
kinda-
right, Joe.
Clearly, we're open to that.
Yeah, so they could have
Right,
like I was thinking like scenes they could have made sexier or like added sex to make better. So a scene like I don't know if you guys ever seen the movie Independence Day, but it's after they find the president's wife and she's in the hospital bed. All he had to do was ask if she could still do it one last time before you know what I mean. She ended up going.
I thought you were going to talk about when Vivica Fox picks her up, and we might get a little girl on girl.
Yeah, I thought that too.
Okay,
stripper.
we could do that. Oh, did you know that I just found this out? Bill Pullman.
Are you gonna
as an
fucking
evil
do another
stepbro-
caveman fun fact? Because I
No,
can't.
man, no. Bill Pullman has an evil stepbrother named Bill Pushman, and he killed Bill Paxton.
What?
All right, so we're cutting TJ's mic.
We're just going to mute TJ.
No, I was gonna say.
I
like,
didn't
movies
realize
try to
that
be
the reason we
sexy, that,
postponed the
like-
show is because TJ was breaking down mentally. I didn't.
He's
I
fucking
would say, like, a
queuing on
movie-
in the rabbit hole deep.
Yeah, a movie that actually tries to be sexy is not just something that like people were obsessed with for a while. It was like Magic Mike. If you really think about that fucking movie, other than Channing Tatum just being thrown in the middle, if you watch the background dancers of like Kevin Nash, Joe Manganiello, and whoever else is in that shit, it's just guys have good bodies, but it's some of the worst dancing and like pelvic thrusting you've ever seen. But you just get blinded with Channing Tatum doing like all his shit. But if you just sit there, take him out, and just watch the background, yeah, that's literally what it looks like. It's just like.
I've never seen it. I'll be honest with you.
No, I
I mean,
never
it
watched
just-
the Magic Mikes, even though I heard they were better than you'd expect.
No, I saw the first.
I mean, maybe, but it's like the sexual
never
aspect.
seen the
They're
second
supposed to be like, I guess.
You know what's super? You know what's super sexy? The ending scene in Requiem for a Dream.
Never
I'm
seen it.
kidding.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
God.
I'm kidding. That's a really
This
sad
episode
scene.
episode is all over the
fucked up.
place.
But I'm
I
just
knew
really
I
fucked
knew
up.
if we did a sex episode on FlyOver, it would get fucked up.
No, I did want to mention honorable mention
I would hope
though. What's the fucking movie name? Showgirls.
Oh well, sure, yeah.
Here's some ice for your nipples.
It's
But
just
I
a full on
feel like-
comedy, right? I mean,
Yeah, but I feel
Yeah.
like it's not purposely unsexy. I feel like that was the point.
That's like a
he's
movie
doing
that
like
goes
just
past
like
the other
in
guy.
We
in
can
Starship
go
Troopers,
into
where
it.
he's anti-fascist by showing fascism. In Showgirls, he's anti-sex by showing sex.
But
Yeah.
you go into
Overhoven, to be fair though, is a horny dude.
Yeah, I go into Showgirls though thinking it's going to be sexy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
regardless of the intent.
All
I
it
feel
needed to have was Jesse Spano naked to make it sexy for me. So
That's
it
literally.
worked. Don't
Could you
get me
imagine if
wrong,
Tiffany Amber Thiessen did it?
it should-
excited.
I still preferred Jesse.
She was in Ladies Man though. She had a pretty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
She's great. She's the best. Oh no, there's nothing wrong with the nudity and sexiness. Gina Gershon. And
Gina
all
Gershon,
that- yeah.
Bound. Should we talk about Bound and say? Can we go back to the sexy movie topic and talk about Bound a little bit?
Wachowskis.
Wachowski.
They know how to do it. They just didn't do it in the Matrix movie.
No. So
Show.
next topic.
Oh yeah. So we're
We're getting
talking
away from
about-
sex here, which I'm a little disappointed in.
Oh well, we're gonna jump back into it though.
We can bring it back. But so with excluding Boogie Nights, which is the movie of the week, I thought we should talk about best ensembles in a movie. And this is a pretty broad. This is a pretty broad category, and honestly, I wrote down like 5 movies, so I'm just gonna kick it off with TJ and ask him what his favorite ensemble is, or many. I think this is an open conversation. We don't need to pick one. And
I mean,
I prepared a few.
mine
I
aren't
have
like
one.
heavy hitters. It's more like ones that worked probably the best together. Like one I just watched yesterday. What was that?
City Slickers.
Yeah, no. And it's not Slevin either. Or Lucky Number Slevin, whatever the fuck it's called.
No, it can't. Like a good ensemble movie shouldn't feel like every actor's part was filmed separately. They should feel like they were in the same room together at some point.
And like I don't even need like a huge like names in every single character, but like this one I watched yesterday for the first time in a couple years, and it's probably the only war movie other than maybe one other one, but like Saving Private Ryan, I think like every character plays their part to a T. Some of them you don't really see anymore. Some of them became directors, and like one of Matt Damon's early roles and stuff like that. Hanks.
Any movie that can harness the crazy of Tom Sizemore, because like that dude can act the fuck out of something if you can harness it, but like he's just real crazy. Like he's not a great guy.
No,
anyone who also can convince the world like Vin Diesel is worthy of being like an amazing actor.
Yeah.
The whole Giovanni Ribisi dying scene where he like.
Oh, spoilers! I've never seen that movie.
Really?
No, I've seen it.
You motherfucker.
That I did not fall for that for a
Even
second.
Harrison's seen Saving Private Ryan, guys.
And sometimes he just is so dry, it's very believable. All right, you motherfucker. But like that shit, like
guys, another movie you always felt sexy you were getting away with. Jenny and Forrest Gump, big movie in my house.
Oh, okay, sure, yeah. Well,
So
you had
anyway,
Sally.
sorry.
You had Sally Field in the loud sex at the beginning, and then you had Jenny naked on stage with the guitar. Like, there's a lot of going
then
on.
Jenny rapes Forrest in bed.
Yeah.
I didn't pick up on that stuff until a lot later, but everything. Anyway,
Well,
sorry.
Jenny, or he also jizzes on her friend's blanket or whatever. That sucks.
I'm sorry I ruined your roommate's bathrobe.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Sorry, TJ. So, see, Private Ryan's a great ensemble. Not very sexy though, but a good ensemble.
I'll say my second.
That's the sexiest ensemble.
I have a second one that's sexier, but I'll say
No,
Yeah.
I'm gonna read off mine, and I just want to see if you guys know what movie.
That?
Yeah, I want to see if
You're
you
gonna read
know
off
the movie.
Should we up the actors?
Oh, you're gonna read off the cast. Gotcha.
Yeah. Brian Haley, Christina Applegate, R.J., Jack Black, Pam Grier, Jim Brown, Natalie.
It's Mars
Portman.
Attacks.
Mars Attacks, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Great.
We got Jack Nicholson, Glenn Close, Annette Bening, Pierce Brosnan,
Episode
Danny
4 of
DeVito,
FlyOver State of
Martin Short, Sarah Jessica Parker, Michael J. Fox. Come on, motherfucker. That's one of the greatest cast ever.
You forgot Wayne Newton.
It's
I
funny.
know Tom Jones.
Both of my
Tom
picks
Jones.
are
Danny
movies that have
DeVito.
already come up on this episode.
Danny DeVito.
But one of them really relates to Yusuf's pick, and that is Independence Day. I think Independence Day's got a killer cast, and like not all big names, but like some of the like perfectly placed character actors, like Robert Loggia and Brent Spiner from Star Trek: The Next Generation. Like little parts that just really make the like reality of the world in the movie. I
Did you guys
love
hear
that.
that fun fact about Bill Pullman?
Yeah, that was a good one. Save it for your stand-up act, buddy.
But yeah,
Also-
Mars Attacks. I feel like, and also you get a dual role from Jack Nicholson, which is just gravy on top of the.
Yeah, he
sundae.
plays like the crazy, like gambling.
the
rich
gambler and the president.
The head of
He was
he's like
having fun.
a hotel magnate or whatever.
And it's just such a good movie, and everybody knows the movie they're in. That's the important part. Like,
Yeah, that's
Jim
yeah.
Brown is punching aliens. Judy Greer,
Michael J. Fox, Martin Short. I mean,
Yeah,
come
Marty-
on.
Sarah Jessica Parker and Pierce Brosnan as heads floating in the spaceship. Like everybody knows what they're doing, and it's one of the first Jack Black roles that he is Jack Black. Like usually when you see Jack Black as a young actor, he's trying to be like a legit actor or just a background actor. And this one, he's making faces and doing voices, and you're like, you can see where like that hint that Jack Black is now the mega star that he is. So yeah, that's my pick for sure.
Sure.
I fucking love that movie. Episode 4, guys. FlyOver State of Film. Check
My
that
pick.
out.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Brian, what you got, babe?
Oh well, I said Independence Day. That's a big one. I really like the cast in that. That's a big ensemble.
Oh, I didn't know that was your pick.
It was one I had two. That was one of my picks. The other one I also ended up coming up was Tombstone. Kurt Russell, Sam Elliott, Bill Paxton, Michael Biehn, Powers Booth, Michael Rooker, Charlton Heston. It's incredible. It's just like, and everybody's killing it. Billy Bob Thornton, Dana Delaney. Everybody's just destroying in that movie. It's so fucking good. One of my
Would you
favorite
put that as
Western.
your top Western? Like,
It's probably it's definitely my favorite Western.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the best Western I've ever seen because it's a little bit clean. It's a little bit Hollywood, but I mean, I like that about it. It feels
what's
like
the other Western ensemble that's on top of my
nothing
head
wrong
with
with
Young
that.
Kids, Young Guns.
Young Guns. Hell yeah, Young Guns has got a great ensemble.
The Quicker Than That also has a great cast.
Oh yeah, again episode like
Another great flyer.
of
Lance
Pirates of the
Henderson
Film.
and Mark Boone Jr. and obviously
So-
Leo,
And
Sharon
Leo,
Stone,
Sharon
Yeah.
Stone.
So
Russell
my
Crowe,
pick,
Hankman.
my main pick, I should say, like I said, I rambled off a few others, but is one that when they were clearly making it, they did not intend for it to be an ensemble cast, right? But it's Wet Hot America's Son. Wet Hot
Ooh, I got
America's
that
Son.
written down
Yeah.
too. Hell yeah.
I mean,
that's
you have a young Bradley Cooper, you have the Michael Schur, right? You know what I'm talking. Michael Showalter,
Showalter.
Amy Poehler, Ben, fucking whatever, Bob's
Affleck.
Burgers,
Yeah.
Ben Affleck,
David Niles
Jason
Pierce.
Viggs,
David Hyde Pierce.
David Niles Pierce, Janine Garofalo. I mean, it's a who's who of comedy.
Bradley Cooper.
Paul Rudd and
Molly
other
Shannon.
people.
Connie
Molly
Moreau
Shannon.
from Mighty Ducks.
And from Days of Confused, which is another amazing ensemble movie. Not everybody in that went on to be super famous, but goddamn, does Days of Confused fuck? It's so good.
Anyway, my
Wait,
second
isn't it Elizabeth Banks also in Wet Hot?
Elizabeth Banks is in
Yeah,
it.
Elizabeth Banks. Yeah.
I think Wet Hot American Summer is today,
that's
if
a great
compared to 2021, it's the heaviest hitter of a thing that no one ever thought would be a heavy hitter.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
My other pick, just because it was talking about it earlier, and I always talk about it, but Zodiac is a great ensemble. Every
Ooh.
fucking
Yeah.
movie.
I just rewatched Zodiac again. I could do it every fucking week. It's so good.
You literally tweeted it, and I almost put it on last night.
Yeah.
The director's cut too, because I have that same version.
Yeah,
which is a
absolutely.
good director's
Almost
cut.
3. There's a movie that's almost 3 hours, and I love every minute of it.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, we talking about the Snyder Cut shit, but like, that's like something I felt as a job to do. I didn't fucking have to, and I'm not a fucking reviewer or pundit, but that is Zodiac. Like, if I'm going to put that on at like 9 o'clock at night, I'm invested. I'm not going to sleep until 12, 12:30, 1 in the morning. And I'm like, I got to put that on. Also, even as, as much as I love horror movies, that movie fucking creeps me the fuck out no matter what it is.
Yeah.
So
It's also one of the best examples of the potentials of CGI.
Yeah.
Well,
The way
yes.
that they use CGI to completely transform
the city and
the
everything.
surrounding areas.
They
think-
make it. I
I
mean,
mean, I
you
know-
feel like it's the era. You know what I mean? They
I know
like do such a
Brian
good
is-
job.
I know Brian and TJ have a bunker episode on it, a discussion about it, but another thing.
Go to our podcast feed. It's probably in our podcast feed.
Yeah, you
use-
should find that. It's good.
The use of the soundtrack also is something really underrated to gush about of that movie. Like, it sets you in the time period. It's just so fucking perfect.
Got any
The other
Anderson
one I
factors?
This is Sherry. This is Layup, but Pulp Fiction.
Oh,
yeah.
Based
Pulp
on.
Fiction is the
Almost
other-
literally, almost any Tarantino
Inglourious
movie
Bastards
goes in for ensemble. I mean, I
Yeah.
think Jackie Brown. I mean, Jackie Brown's got a. It might be the.
Yeah, with
it might
Robert
be
De Niro and
Ooh, man,
And
Robert
another
De Niro.
memory.
I have another
Robert
on-
Forrester.
Yeah, so
yeah,
good.
hell yeah.
Oh, The Departed.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I just watched The Departed the other day. Actually, it was just little St. Patrick's Day watch.
Yeah,
Even like something like
You can
another
listen.
one
You can
that-
just listen to a Dropkick Murphy CD, dude. You don't have to watch.
right.
Yeah, but actually, a little flyover insight. I put on the non Zack Snyder Justice League on Saturday on HBO Max. Got 5 minutes into it and went, oh, they also have The Departed on this app, and watched The Departed instead.
Yeah.
It's a much better choice.
And this might even be on there too, but another one that's kind of like Saving Private Ryan, where it's like a great cast that just works together. This movie that I love to watch over and over again, Almost Famous. There's something about that cast and just like how they all work together, and the timepiece and the fruits of bulk and the smaller roles of the character actors that you see all over Jason.
This asshole, Philip. Oh my God, I'm blanking on him. He's the head reviewer.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah,
Philip
so
Seymour Hoffman is such
Yeah.
a great role in that movie.
The small.
And it's just him
Uh,
on the phone. Like, he rarely interacts with people, and he fucking
but
almost
he's
steals the movie.
perfect. An honorable mention, the modern one, which when I think of ensemble cast the last like 5 years, Knives Out.
Yeah.
I feel like
Oh
they
yeah,
were
that's a great
insane.
pick. That's a great.
Don't
pick.
ever saw it.
Oh, you
Oh,
like
shit.
it?
One that I always talk about that I think has a really good cast. Again, not a cast of people who are huge stars, but where every part is interesting. Is Free Fire came out a couple years ago. Blake, Brie Larson, Sharlto Copley, Armie
cannibal.
Hammer, not eating anybody.
The guy from Midsummer,
Yeah, our favorite bad boyfriend from Midsummer.
Jeremy Renner.
the guy from Peaky Blinders. I always
Rainer.
forget his name.
Is
Yeah,
it
Cillian Murphy. Yep.
Cillian Murphy. Yeah, it's a good.
Oh,
it's a-
another Cillian Murphy that's great. That's underrated is Red Eye.
I only ever saw Red Eye once.
I've never
It would
seen
be one
it.
that I'd be willing to give a try again.
It's a
you know?
good. I remember it being a good Wes Craven, so I could be like definitely proven wrong by not holding up. But it's a good thriller.
But the greatest cast ever assembles belongs to fucking Boogie Nights. Let's go. Let's do this.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's
Set it up.
you could definitely make the argument. I can't, you know what I mean? Like, it's pretty tight.
So
All the way from the top of the card, Marky Wahlberg, to Nina Hartley, true porn star icon, playing basically herself, getting
I still
railed.
watch Nina Hartley. What?
Ay. This movie, I saw this movie early too. So, again, normally I don't pick the greatest movies, and also to prove that whenever you get to this episode, if you watch the episode before this, I did a little game. I put movies in a hat, and I missed probably one of the sexiest movies of all time. But thankfully, Youssef changed it
Which
for us
was
last
also-
minute, and I agreed.
Which was also going to be my pick prior to that, if you remember that game. Where I
It
had
was
Boogie
part of
Nights on
right.
the
We
list.
missed it on
Yep.
Joe's game too.
And I don't even remember what the other one was going to be. I think it might have been 50 Shades
Porky's.
of Grey.
Oh no, it was Porky's you actually chose.
Yes, it was Porky's. Correct. Thank
Which
God.
I'm
that you
so
switched it
glad.
up.
Yeah, we made a good choice. We dodged a real
Can I-
bullet there.
Can I just make one point before you begin, and then I'll shut the fuck up until I actually have to talk about the movie? Is Boogie Nights for FlyOver the show itself is a perfect blend of a great movie that's going to be fun to talk about.
Yeah.
That doesn't
And
always
it's
happen.
also going to keep me out of the worst bracket, which will eventually come out again, part 2. So check that out if you haven't checked out
But
part
that doesn't
1.
always
Yeah,
happen.
this is almost
though.
like cheating here. This is like you pick an all timer like this
Again.
Like if I pick Taxi Driver, like it'd be a boring conversation.
Yeah, it's like me picking Brazil.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, thank
why-
God you never made that horrible mistake. Whew.
Yeah.
Dodged a
Fuck
real
that.
bullet
take
on
too
that.
much credit for this one because Yusuf did pick it, but then he also did make us watch Brazil. But so then I might take the credit. But
Well,
again,
Yusuf's next pick is locked
Nobody's
in.
ever top time trap. Nobody will, and nobody ever can.
It's called
No one's
Norm.
first-
It's called a
no
no-name
one's
Norm.
first watch, right?
I can't wait till we have enough episodes where we've done 4 bad movie brackets, and then we can do a final 4 and take the winners and pit them against each other.
It's TJ against himself.
It'll be worth keeping the pod going that long just to do it.
No one's first watch, right?
So,
No.
no. I actually watched this literally.
Anybody
Right.
have that nice new line DVD, the purple, or orange one with the
Orange one. Yep.
Yeah,
with
that's the
slip
one I
case.
have too.
Yep.
No, I watched that on Hulu.
Well, I watched it on Hulu because I couldn't. My DVD and my Xbox thing is broken. Piece of shit Xbox. But I do have that, and I'll never get rid of that Boogie Nights fucking thing. Is that
All right, set it up. Set it up. What's this movie?
No, I'm actually doing something I always.
This movie
need to
is
do
like
as well.
slow
it up,
key the
set it
John
up.
Holmes
Yep.
story, right? Like that's kind of like what it's trying to be.
Quasi based on the John.
Yeah, I'm not too sure on Mark Wahlberg's age in this, but this is one of Mark Wahlberg's earlier roles after Fear when he showed he kind of had the chops to get a little bit serious, get a little bit out there. I mean, Basketball Diaries, everyone saw that and saw what he could do. But this is about, I don't want to say
never
he's
saw
a
that.
what is he, like 18? Maybe?
Well, the character is like 17, 18.
17?
We're in the beginning.
Yeah, working in California, just doing this shit. Then you realize he's doing some shit on the side. He's seen in a restaurant as a busboy by goddamn Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
Playing
Jackie Treehorn.
Was that?
Playing Jackie Treehorn.
Yeah. Who is basically probably one of the most famous porn producers in America in like the height of the 70s porn era. Sees Mark
Well, this
Wahlberg.
movie's purely fictional.
Yeah, purely fictional,
he's
but it's
based-
like low
he's
key
based on-
John Holmes.
Based on
story.
somebody, yeah. He's same thing. He's kind of scouting in a restaurant one night, eating dinner, sees
Mark
Wahlberg.
Wahlberg was 35 years old.
Wait, when he shot this?
Yes,
Get the
Wait,
fuck! I mean,
what?
he looks like he's fucking 20 now. So.
35 years old. He was born in 1962, and this movie came out in 1997.
I have beef, by the way, with Mark Wahlberg with this fucking movie.
Oh,
the shit out of you, Joe.
Let me set it up.
No, go ahead. You can beef with Mark Wahlberg. He fucking committed
No.
a hate
I
crime.
know he's beef, but that's a good. I mean, set it up.
Oh yeah. So basically, what happens is Burt Reynolds discovers this young kid in a restaurant and invites him to start his career in a porn. It literally takes left, right, up, down turns. This movie again. How long is this? 2
We
hours.
get introduced to his world, and you meet all the cast of characters, the different porn
Thi-
actors and actresses, the behind the scenes people. The whole. There's this whole like family of like people that work on these movies.
I think a good way to.
shot.
I think a good way to describe it, without describing it, is it's Goodfellas of porn.
I was
gonna talk about that later when I criticize the movie. I have a part later where I want to be like, "Hey, this is a love fest, but it's not a perfect movie. Let's talk about it." And I was gonna bring that up that it feels kind of like a little too much. Like, "Hey, we're doing Goodfellas, but with porn."
Well, the director has been very open that he wanted to out Scorsese. Especially in the opening sequence, which I feel like this opening sequence is better than Goodfellas, and the only reason why is because it has Luis Guzman in it.
Yeah.
No.
Luis
First of all,
Guzman
it's
carries it.
we're talking Suicide Squad level needle drops in this opening scene with at the
yeah,
party.
it's true.
It is intense. I was like, okay, we fucking get it, dude. It's the 70s. Like,
Guys,
we have Luis Guzman.
like the way you say he wanted to out Scorsese makes 100% perfect sense when you hear that first scene. You're like, Jesus, this is like boom, song,
But
bam,
I don't want
song,
Go my
scene,
love
boom,
in defense
characters,
of Scorsese.
Well, there's like a
so-
scene at the pool party when he's really getting introduced to everybody. You introduce John C. Reilly for the first time, but you go into like a one. I don't want to say it's one long shot because I can't remember if it is or not with no breaks, but it's you just jump into conversations.
It feels like that where you follow them through, yeah.
And like Don Cheadle's talking about his different styles and all that type of shit.
I feel like obviously PT is like an amazing director, but I feel like if PT would do this movie today, it would be so much fucking better than it's now.
Oh yeah,
and it's because he found his cinematic language. Like if you watch There Will Be Blood or even Inherent Vice, which is not an amazing movie, or Phantom Thread, it doesn't feel like he's trying to imitate somebody, which in this case he's trying to imitate Scorsese. It's an amazing movie. I'm not gonna say it's a bad movie.
But we're not saying nobody's saying that. We're just saying that you can also be objective and be like, it's an early work from a great director. So there's things he improved on.
Like if he would do it today, I just wish he would do it today to see how the camera work would be completely different.
Not do a sequel, but do like a companion piece that feels like a spiritual sequel to it. Like I could see that.
There's like 3 or 4 Coca Cabana scenes in this fucking movie, right?
Yeah.
And there doesn't need to be. But I disagree with Yusuf in the sense of I don't want to see like a good Paul Thomas Anderson, like honed his skills make this movie, because there is an earnestness about why it's so good.
Yeah, that's why it's good, because it's so raw.
If it's too like polished, I don't think it would work. I think we'd go, okay, like,
hey man,
I agree that it would probably also take away from the realness, like, because I do feel like it feels very real and alive, like you're in it. And I feel like maybe Paul Thomas Anderson's modern works are more detached. You know what I mean? You feel like you're watching it more.
Yeah, he created atmosphere with his recent work where the camera feels more of a voyager. It feels
do you think that if he
floating
if he shot this movie now, there's this one scene that like I feel like he has a lot of throwaway scenes in this that he leaves in, which is fucking cool because a lot of them are comedic. Like again, the first time that Mark and John C. Reilly meet.
Oh, John C. Reilly
competition on the board.
Was this everybody's like? Well, no, I always don't think it's everybody's first John C. Reilly, but you guys all watched him in. You guys were young, so you all saw him in like Ricky Bobby before you ever saw this, right?
Yeah,
I saw him. My first John C. Reilly is Dolores Claiborne. He plays a cop in that.
Well, like Perfect Storm, I saw him because I saw him in more like that movies like that before I saw him in comedies. Like,
that was me. It was comedies I saw him in, and then went back and was like, "Oh, this guy's legit."
This
Actually,
one,
no.
They're doing like he's like, "I'm gonna do a can opener into the film." Like, I feel like Paul would take that out now and not leave that in. Where it's,
I disagree in that he wouldn't leave it in. I just feel like it's not that he doesn't leave stuff in because his fucking movies are long still. It's that he wouldn't be interested in trying to out Scorsese. You know what I'm saying? Like he would be interested in.
But you want to see Boogie Nights now that he's honed his own style.
But he doesn't. But it works though. That's my.
No. He the thing is, he doesn't out Scorsese, but he does a good job of imitating. I mean, it's a great movie. If you told me that, and if you were watching this movie and I didn't know anything, you were like, "This is a Scorsese movie," I'd be like, "I believe you." I'd be like, "Yeah, okay, I buy that."
I'm gonna correct you. The first time I saw John C. Reilly was Gangs of New York.
That's why.
That's a great one.
Yeah,
Yusuf, same.
Oh yeah.
Fun fact about that, he was in 3 out of the 5 Best Picture nominated movies that year. Cold Mountain, Gangs of New York, and the others, I think.
He's not in the others.
The Hours.
The Hours, okay.
Other fun fact is, in canon, John C. Reilly has a huge cock. Because he's a porn actor.
Yeah, I mean, he has to at least be packing.
So what I want to also say while we're having this little debate about it is, I also don't think a older PT would aggressively go after Burt Reynolds to be
Burt Reynolds denounces this movie. Denounced this movie before he died. And he's not a fan. That bums me out.
He was so good in it too.
He's incredible in it. He's so good.
There's no actor. There's no actor that can do that. Good night, honey tits, and it sounds like a fucking Oscar nominated line.
The scene with Wahlberg and
said you'll get nominated for an Oscar if you do this, and he did it.
Did Burt get nominated that year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he did.
And they say he lost, and they believe he lost because he was shitting on the movie, before the awards.
Probably. I mean, yeah, of course. It's political shit. Why would you do that?
It bums me out. It bums me out that he couldn't acknowledge, like, even if he didn't like the movie, that he couldn't acknowledge how good he was in it.
think
how
he
much,
didn't
you know
like
what I
it.
mean? Like,
I think
should
he
have
didn't
at
like
least
it.
been able to appreciate it like that.
I think he didn't like it also because if you read like the little trivia while you're watching it, it's like well documented that like to prepare for the role, he went to a lot of porn sets, and I think like he just didn't like that aspect, so he brought that.
I don't feel like he needed to go to a. He was just a director. He didn't have to go to that length.
And
he's been inside of reshoots his entire freaking life, pretty much.
Speaking about that though, he's how we're talking about PT imitating people. Apparently, that really pissed off Burt Reynolds too, because he was like, I've seen this scene before, like, why are you doing it this way? Like, apparently there was big fights of like PT like wanting to do things like how other people have done them. If you read the trivia, who knows how accurate that is.
You know one of my favorite scenes in the beginning is John C. Reilly margarita scene. This is how I make margarita.
The whole deal, the whole thing with them and how much you bench and everything, like that's just that's a classic.
Like him, like also going like this and going and just sipping on the bottle as it goes in. John C. Reilly really eats up this role, and the other one that eats up this role.
It's crazy to see him so skinny in this role.
Yes, he's so skinny.
I was like, he looks like a rail now. Like
he's so skinny. But the introduction of Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Oh, his character's heartbreaking too.
Oh, yeah, it is heartbreaking. But to be honest, I feel like it's one of the nicest turned down of a homosexual in a movie that I've seen.
Yeah, like I bet real life Mark Wahlberg wouldn't have been as nice as Dirk Diggler was.
Oh, it's hilarious that Marky experiences hate crime during this movie. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. It's like, no, it's all cool, man. And he tries to just be like, let's just go have a drink.
Did you like my car? Do you like my car? But I really do like, and going back, I don't know why we keep harping on PT, but it is a good conversation. The sequence where he sees Marky, it is very experimental, and I don't feel like PT today would do it the way that it closes in on Mark Wahlberg. Like the whole screen goes back.
I like the way he did that with the sex scene with Dirk and Amber Waves, Julianne Moore, where he cuts to like the kind of like 35 millimeter like little like small screen. Oh, incredibly hot.
Yeah.
We could have talked about that scene. I'm not gonna lie. When she tells him to, shoot inside, I was like, oh, that still is like we talked about in the Terminator scene where she grips the sheets. It's like the same vibe. I get that same vibe there.
Wow. I could go.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
could go again. I could go again.
And you get the impression, and that's where I like. It's like it's subtle things like that. They're like, oh, it's not just that Dirk has a big dick. He can fuck, like, you know what I mean? And they make a point to like that scene.
I was gonna say this
something special.
Well, see, that's when like Burt Reynolds, when he lights his cigar and he's like, when he fucks Heather Graham in front of him for the first time, like no one can do that and be like that believable to like he's just gonna watch and like just and then he's like,
you told me this. By the way, once again, give him age here. If you told me this movie existed when Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me, came out, we would have been trying to find this movie.
Yeah,
has she done other things too, like that? I think she's done
Heather. I mean, this was pretty much Heather Graham's breakout role. Yeah. I think this was her first. She was in Swingers, I think, before this, and maybe some other small roles, but like not anything notable.
She's another sad character too. Like
every single character.
Dude, when they kick that dude out of the limo.
That's honestly a horror movie.
I would say Reed Rothschild is the closest to a character who kind of skates, like as far as doesn't have any super tragedies happen to him.
No, because I feel like the saddest character.
Reed Rothschild is John C. Reilly.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Well, he really hits rock bottom though with his drug addiction, so you can read into that he's just fucked up.
He's kind of, but I feel like he's kind of tagging along with Mark Wahlberg during that. Like I feel like that's more about Mark's drop. Like we don't see.
And we talk about though the best character and the most tragic, which is William watching his wife get fucked.
Every single dude.
Billy, yeah. What do they call him? Little Bill. They call him his name's Little Bill.
It's so hilarious that nobody gives a fuck. Like he's
That's my
so
wife.
pissed. That's my
Multiple
wife. And
times
he's
he
like,
walks
all
up
right,
on
little Bill,
groups of
what are we
people
gonna do
watching
about
his
the
wife
light?
get banged.
Like he's like,
We're
the
not for
little Bill's
camera
like,
either.
yeah, okay, but tomorrow we have a shoot. What are we gonna do about the lights? And he's like, my wife is getting fucked. It's like, okay, I don't. What are we
There's a
gonna do about the
great.
lights?
This movie has a classic movie. Like he misread the line, but they leave it in. It's like he says something like my wife has an ass up her cock or something in the driveway. Like he flips it around and they leave it and they left it in. And I noticed it. I was like, it's so funny that like they just let it ride because he's so flustered. He said the wrong thing and like they didn't redo it. It's really funny.
He's great.
And that's also another Scorsese sequence where he follows William H. Macy from the bedroom to the car, back to the bed.
I didn't
There's
remember.
There's a lot of
I was watching with
shots.
Sarah, and she asked
There
me,
is
she's
a
like,
lot of
does he kill them and himself? And I couldn't remember. And yeah, he does.
Yeah, and he smiles before he does it. It's pretty fucked
Yeah,
up.
he does.
That's when
he definitely
I
the straw broke the camel's back on that one.
That's when so Laura does not like violence. That's when I lost, or like blood and gore in movies. That's when I lost Laura with this movie. Like she's a really good.
That's I mean, there's one more violent part, and it all happens kind of at once. But like I would say that's the most violent moment.
Yeah,
probably.
She liked. By the way, she liked it. It was just very much hard to get her back on board. Because,
Can we talk about
the best scene?
the second best character, Don Cheadle and the black cowboy. That's so good. It's so good.
I said it's canon that the guy from Hootie and the Blowfish saw this movie and was like, "Yes, I'm going country. I'm doing it."
That's like he's the realest character in this because he's just like he's like, this is my dream, and it's so like minor because he's already like in an industry, and I mean he makes it work, and it's the only part of the movie where you're like, I'm happy for you.
He's the only one. I feel like he's the only one that has, even though it comes from a very fucked up tragedy, he has a happy ending. Like he gets the money, he sets up his store, he has a baby with his wife.
The actress that plays his wife is like really somebody you see a lot on TV. Like I realized I was like, oh man, she's like in an episode of Seinfeld. She was on NYPD Blue. She's like somebody I was always familiar with more as a TV actress. And then she pops up in this. I was like, oh hey, it's that lady.
I love that little story, but the scene I keep wanting to bring up though, and I think we all know what it is the fucking Ario Speedwagon.
Oh yeah,
drug.
Now I wanted to say this was going to fall into my.
So good.
Can I real quick though? This was going to fall into my light criticism area where I'm like, this is why there is a part of me that says you can tighten this movie by cutting that scene out.
Yeah.
Marky Mark hits rock bottom with the thing in the truck. He's jerking off for money. He gets beat up. He gets a hate crime committed on him. That's rock bottom. You could technically pull this scene out because it's such a non sequitur. It's such a like standalone. It doesn't connect with anything. I'm not saying you should. I think the scene is incredible, and it like to lose Alfred Molina would be to like give this movie a fucking
Alfred Molina in a speedo.
Like it's awful. Alfred Molina comes into this movie at like 4/5 of the way through this movie, and it absolutely steals the whole thing. Like
that's my favorite. Like I could watch that. I might watch that scene on YouTube after this.
Alfred Molina. Where I'm watching it, and I'm like, okay, but in all reality, like we've kind of told the story, and we've hit the rock bottom. What are we saying with this scene?
I think it's just fun.
Oh no!
Yeah, and also,
like I said, that's why I wanted to caveat.
That's what I mean.
I would never think.
And also on
Thomas Jane, baby.
Yeah, Thomas Jane, and also on a technical aspect, like the sound design of the movie just swelling up and consuming the Asian kid
the kid throwing the fireworks is so good.
So much.
I think that's supposed to be his adopted son.
I watched it with these headphones on because the wife was watching something else, and I just watched it on my laptop. And it's so fucking loud. It's so loud on your headphones.
It just keeps hitting you.
And the tension just builds up.
And the song just keeps playing.
And Alfred Molina is like,
And I actually, like once again, there's like I keep talking about like heartbreaking scenes. I kind of hate in that scene is the Alfred Molina character is another so earnest character who just wants to hang out and do drugs. He means the best. He's like, I'm rich. I just want to do drugs and hang out with you
I
guys.
just want to party with you guys. Like, I wish you guys brought me real dope so we could just party and have a good time. Like
he looked like I was like, yeah, man, I want to kind of hang out with all you and your guns. Like, this looks fun.
you seem like you might be a bit much for more. Like, I only want to hang out for a little while, and then I'd probably have to bail because you seem like you might be a bit much. But
yeah,
we could have fun. We could have fun for like an hour.
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg.
Can we talk about?
Would have enjoyed that.
Can we talk about Marky Mark singing? Because
You've got the
that was
touch.
painful.
So funny how bad they make him when he's like he was known mostly as a singer when this movie came out.
Yeah. But you see John C. Reilly rocking at the guitar, so
yeah, get a little bit of that pre-Dewey Cox.
Pre-Dewey Cox.
I wanted to say, like I said, I feel like I'm trying to play devil's advocate if I feel like it was going to be too much of a love fest. And I just wanted to, as I was watching it, be like, here's some things that maybe are imperfect.
It's bloated. It's bloated.
It's bloated. And it's not, the characters are all awesome, but there's a couple like character arcs that I feel are really kind of rushed and a little thin. Like Amber Waves, the stuff where like she only makes that one attempt to go back and get her kid, and it's like we just saw her getting coked out like the last scene. Like they didn't even make an attempt to make it seem like she was trying to clean herself up for that, and it kind of like she's so ill prepared and stuff. I just that kind of felt a little bit throwaway. And also I honestly would have cut out. Roller Girl's arc is really good, though.
Yeah, it is. I would have cut out the hate crime and left the drug deal as his bottom. And I definitely would have cut out the child thing and also would have trimmed down his rise to fame. I feel like it was too long, too.
The rise to fame, I thought watching this time, I was like, I'll tell you what, here's the one thing that the hate crime really, it kind of, as I'm watching the movie, I'm like, man, his rise to fame seems a little unrealistic. It's like nobody got this big from porn, and he's got a big new.
Yeah, but he has so much heart in those movie scripts, man.
But then I like the idea of like when he's at his low point and he's yanking his crank for money, and he has the guy's like, you know who I am, and the guy has no idea who he is. I like that contrast of like you were only big in your tiny little world. You were a big fish in a small pond, and you made more money than you ever had seen in a year, but you spent literally all of it furnishing that apartment. Like literally, when he loses his job and he's at his low point, you don't see him going back to his fancy apartment. He's like hanging out with Tom Jane and John C. Reilly at some little shithole.
And it also harpers back. It also harpers back to when we actually meet him, where he says like $10 for me to whack off.
Oh yeah.
So
he
essentially
ends only slightly for.
Ends up it ends up
man,
back
his mom's
in the beginning.
a horrible cunt though, right? Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Rough.
I think my one like scene I guess I'd cut or something and cut back on too. And I know this is part of the plot, but I always gets wasted. Is the guys trying to cut out Jackie? That whole those guys trying to push in and bring the new kids in. I feel like that never works. That has as much impact as it should.
The only thing that pays that off is later when the colonel gets busted. Then you see that Burt Reynolds has had to resort to the other guy and like had to lower his standards. Okay. And I feel like that like it plays in there. But I agree that like it kind of
in that sequence
paying attention to get all that. You know what I mean?
Like I'm not too. Yeah, I guess what I'm saying is I'm not too invested yet in the inner workings of how their like business works actually.
And that sequence is
I didn't need to know like I guess
so fucked up though. I'm talking now.
Fine.
When the
Dad,
actually like he's admitting to what he's done. To what he likes is so fucked up. He's like, oh, but they're so precious, and you go like, oh no, he's talking about kids. Even Burt Reynolds goes like, oh, fuck off, fuck me, what the fuck is happening? I've tied my entire livelihood.
Yeah, but I think like, and I think what Joe's kind of saying, what I agree with is that like the downfall, like the rise and fall of Dirk Diggler would have been enough for me. I didn't need the rise and fall of the porn industry.
Yeah, that's it.
Like I didn't need, oh no, we're going from theatrical releases to video. Our industry is declining.
But I think
I
that's
didn't need that. I don't care.
It's fine. I get it. And
no, and I think we're all at the conceit that everything in this movie is good, and the movie is already so great. That's why we're spending so much time like nitpicking and criticizing small things, because legitimately you could just go through every scene and be like, this is awesome. This performance is incredible. I mean, the whole scene where they show you the opening of the Brock Landers movie, like where they show you like what the movie is, so fucking funny. It's so good.
I always love when the
aspect ratios, little 38 millimeters are great.
I always love where when Marky Mark and John C. Reilly are pitching to Sean Connery, and they go like, "Yeah, like a James Bond type."
Yeah.
And Sean Connery is like,
Sean Connery?
You mean Burt Reynolds?
Burt Reynolds, sorry.
He does. Sean Connery would have been really good in that role, though.
Oh yeah.
Maybe
but,
you would have liked it too.
That they based off their porn character off James Bond, which would actually make a great fucking.
And I like the whole thing where they were talking about how like they didn't like the way that John Holmes. That's another thing. This movie's kind of trying to be a John Holmes biopic in a way, and they even like the stuff with Alfred Molina. That's all based on the Wonderland murders and stuff, which. Wonderland is an underrated movie, by the way, with Val Kilmer. Check out Wonderland; it's not bad.
So
but it's funny that also they acknowledge that John Holmes exists in this world because they're talking about Johnny Watt and how he hits bitches and he's rude to women, and they wanted to be more suave and cool with their characters and more like James Bond, like ladies' men.
Yeah.
So TJ, this is your movie.
Yeah, you've been quiet, baby.
Like, what do you got?
What was that?
So what do you got to add to it?
Yeah,
this is like a movie that I saw at a really young age. Like I would go to my cousin's house. He had like a poster on his wall, and he'd watch it like every other, like Friday night. Hanging out with me? Oh, nice. But like, I mean, I enjoy this movie a lot, but I do have some like, I don't know, like. It makes me uncomfortable sometimes. It's like one of those type of movies, and sometimes it feels a little too real. Sure. It kind of makes you feel uncomfortable, like the Julianne Moore thing with the daughter and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, fully.
Yeah, but then they also, like you said,
the scene where she basically forces Mark. She tells Mark Wahlberg she loves him and that he's her son. Then she forces him to do cocaine, and then she makes out with him. It's like very
shit like that, and then there's like the comedic aspect of it, where like. I would watch a Mark Wahlberg, John C. Reilly. Like, I would love for them to like get back together and do something.
Can I bring up you mentioned Mark Wahlberg again, who I feel like we have not talked about enough in this movie. This is his best movie. This is no. Can I bring up my beef with him?
Shot, no question.
I
feel like they took your advice, TJ, and they did that, but they made him with Will Ferrell instead of with John C. Reilly.
Yeah,
because they've had like 4 or 5 Mark Wahlberg.
But then they did the Mark. What? Yeah, exactly.
Which is a great Will Ferrell. The other guys, Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell, they're actually
that movie's fine. It's a little too long for a comedy.
Yes, it's bloated. No, my beef with Mark Wahlberg. In this movie, not in the movie, like specifically, it's just Mark Wahlberg, is that recently, maybe in the last 10 years or so, when his kids were a little young, he came out and said, yeah, I wish I never did that movie. It's not something he's proud of it, but it's not something he would ever do again. And I'm like, bullshit.
No, he said that he hopes God will forgive him for Boogie Nights.
Okay. Same shit. Fuck you, man. Just
shut up.
This is literally like honestly, like
you should get down on your hands and knees and thank God that you got to be in Boogie Nights every single day.
This and this is an iconic this is film. Why you were able to do this shit like Fear.
Yeah.
Whoa, I love Fear. Chill.
Is it me? Is it only me? Is it only me, or do you wish somebody else wishes that in the last sequence when he pulls down his pants, he had a very small dick? I feel like it would have been so good if he just pulls down his pants and it's like The Hangover.
Yeah, or what's it in Scary Movie where he's got the picture of the baby dick? It's like that.
That would be way too real. I can't watch that.
Wait. You
I
know what I'm
do love the idea that they treat him like a star, and that's the whole thing at the very end.
Yeah.
They do.
It would have been
You know what I'm realizing?
A little
maybe I'm-
chode, just a little tuna can.
Wait, you know what I'm realizing with the end scene, and maybe I'm dumb. We're talking about Stacey and the comparisons. That's literally just like the ending of Raging Bull.
Yeah.
Him talking to himself in the mirror, being like, "I'm the best. I'm the man." And then, like,
Raging
obviously
Bull
in Raging Bull, he doesn't pull out his
such
dick.
And then he
a
pulls out his dick.
goddamn
Yeah, Raging
good
Bull
movie.
too.
Raging Bull is so fucking good. It's like
So,
it's blowing good. It's so good.
Yusuf, speaking of how good that is, lead us into
The ratings phase.
the ratings phase.
Are we sure that we said all the things? I feel like we went out of our way to criticize. Are we sure that we said all the positive things we need to say about Boogie Nights?
Love this movie. Period.
Yeah, I mean,
I think
I don't
we
want anybody to
honestly-
think because we spent some time just like nitpicking that we don't like. I love this movie. I was so glad to get to watch it again.
No,
It's
I
fucking
think we could,
incredible.
I think we can honestly talk for another 45
And it
minutes about the
flies.
stuff it is,
It's
and still have as
2.5
much fun.
hours. It's 2.5 hours, and you can argue that it's bloated, but it flies. Like
Yeah.
you just
No, it's one of those movies that you don't feel the time at all.
It's a classic.
And I think
late
that
night.
is, I think, yeah.
rate it,
And
Joe.
I think that's to that point that is where the Scorsese-ness affects it, right? Where it just flies. It's 2.5 hours, but it flies. I want to give it 9.4 Mark Wahlberg fake dicks. I love this movie. I think this.
You know that
I think,
there's a Hollywood
9.4
There's a-
inches. You know what I'm saying?
There is a
Bang.
Hollywood rumor that he actually whips out his real dick, and people didn't like it. The screenings because he actually has a big dick supposedly, and then they refilmed it with a prosthetic.
The prosthetic,
Well, yeah,
slightly
but
bigger
that-
dick.
I believe that rumor. But yeah, that's my rating. This honestly is I don't want to say a top 10, but it's definitely in my top 20 of all time.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
up there.
Yeah, that's a
It's
good
up
one.
there. It's
It
something
might. I mean, even now, might still be my favorite Paul Thomas Anderson movie.
yeah. I do want to rewatch.
The only
this
one
makes
that I
me wanna
haven't seen is
rewatch
Magnolia.
I want to
I
rewatch
See, there's too
Magnolia.
many that I haven't seen. I need to go back because I don't think I've seen.
I've
There
seen
Will Be
them
Blood
all.
either.
I've seen them
I haven't-
all except Magnolia,
I've seen
and I feel
them
like
all
Phantom
except-
Thread is my favorite so far.
I've seen them all except Phantom Thread. I was going to say,
Yeah,
but I wanna
Phantom Thread
rewatch-
Fucking slaps.
Punch Drunk Love though under.
Oh, so good, Punch Drunk Love.
I want to rewatch
TJ.
Magnolia
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
and There Will Be Blood. Just want to leave
Never
it.
seen any
There
of
Will
them.
Be Blood is my milkshake. TJ, what are you rating it?
Is Phantom Thread about clothes?
Yes.
Yeah,
Fuck that. I'll
and
give this,
poisonous mushrooms and tea.
all right. I'll give this 8.4 margaritas.
Ooh,
Riley
best
margaritas.
margarita.
Nice.
8.4. This is like the classic late 90s. It comes on like, I don't know why, but every once in a while it'll be like TNT, TBS, and you just watch it, but everything's fucking cut out of it for some fucking reason.
Mm.
Or you luck out and see it on HBO. I love this movie. Thank you, Yusuf, for changing the pick from fucking Porky's to this. I'll take credit for it though for right now until we eventually do a bracket where
No,
it'll
it's
come
your
down
pick,
to that being brought
buddy.
up.
Buddy,
What?
it's your pick.
Yeah, thanks, Joe.
We know. We know.
I
It's
had
your pick.
one
It's
more-
your pick. But
I had
yeah,
one more
we know.
thought of this that TJ brings up, being like, "Oh, it's like your late '90s, like this." This is the movie that American Beauty wishes it aged as.
Yeah, it wishes it aged this good. Absolutely.
I like that.
Ryan, rate it.
Oh, oof, I gotta give this like an 8.7, I think.
Wow, I can't believe I'm higher than everyone else.
I mean, I love this movie. I think 8.7 is an incredible score.
That's a high.
Like,
That's a high. These are highest scores for FlyOver. If no
these are
one's
very high
Or
scores.
TJ
I would say.
pick.
I'm
Let's
trying to
go.
be objective
Yusuf
here.
pick.
Like, if a perfect movie is Twister, this is about an 8.7. Like, I'm just,
We're gonna just leave Howard the Duck out of it.
And it's
fucking forgot you made
8.7.
us watch
It's
that movie.
8.7 rounds of ammo pumped into Little Bill's wife and himself.
Whoa.
girl.
Yeah, I'm going 8.5 honey tits out of 10. Yeah, it's super good. Every single actor eats up his role. Burt Reynolds is amazing. I feel like the weakest link is Marky, and even Marky is the best. It's his best performance ever. But yeah, fucking great movie. Joe, what are you gonna follow up this movie with?
Oh,
No,
no.
Brian.
My
Sorry.
pick.
I was
Brian,
gonna say, is it my turn?
Yes, Brian.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's your turn. Yeah.
TJ,
Oh, man.
edit all this out.
Oh no.
Oh,
This is
sure.
great.
Is it too late for a short game, or is that
No,
too
No,
much?
fuck it.
No,
Play
man.
the fucking game.
I got my
Never gonna
terrible
come
trivia.
out, so
I
I
got
need
my
it.
terrible trivia box here, guys.
Yeah.
I got it.
So
We do two-
I want
we
to wait before you start. Can I ask a question?
Yeah,
Yeah,
go
I'm
for
gonna
it.
I
cut
have
it out,
a little
though.
bit left of this beer, but I keep seeing these little things in the
Dude,
bottom
that's really
of it.
gross.
Yeah, you see that?
Yeah,
That's a lot of stuff.
is that in your cup or was that in your beer?
I think it was from the
Oh, it's fruit
it was-
seed.
Oh,
I
it's
think-
fruit seeds. Okay, that
yeah,
could be fair.
yeah.
That could-
I was
I
gonna
think
say
so,
that was
but
really
chunks
gonna be sick, bro.
Should I finish it?
Yeah, of course.
Oh yeah, you'll be fine.
You're gonna poop them out in the morning.
All right, so let's play a couple quick rounds of terrible trivia. We'll do regular rules. If you know the answer after I'm done reading it, say your name, and then I will pick you. And we'll do and then we'll do it. We'll do it up. All right. What movie has the characters named Alex Hitchens and Sarah?
TJ.
Go
Jeepers
ahead.
Creepers?
No.
Fuck.
Alex Hitchens and Sarah.
I have no clue.
Is there any
It was Hitch. Alex Hitchens.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, the famous movie. Hitch.
Everybody loves
I mean-
guys. Everybody loves Hitch.
That's
Yeah.
a good movie. I just don't remember the fucking names.
I disagree. That is a good movie.
Anna
Oh.
Kendrick provides the voice of which character in the film Trolls? If nobody knows it, TJ.
Cunnilingus.
I was gonna say, what, Joe? Joe, you got one? Got anything?
Rainbow
Episode
Sparkles.
69.
No. Okay, we'll go for an easier question here. There's a true or false question on here. True or false? Donnie Brasco is based on the true story of real estate agent Joseph D. Pistone.
Yusef.
Go ahead, Yusef.
False.
That's right. He was an FBI agent, not a real estate agent.
Yes.
Oh man, this trivia game sucks. All right, what kind of pet does Barbossa have in Pirates of the Caribbean?
TJ.
Yusef.
Oh, TJ got it.
Capuchin Monkey.
Yeah, monkey baby, good job.
Mhm.
We're 1-1. Which movie has the character Shere Khan in it?
Joe.
Joe?
I was giving that away.
Wait, Shere Khan.
TJ, if he doesn't get
Mortal
this.
Kombat?
No,
What?
what is TJ?
Jungle Book.
Yeah, it's the Jungle Book.
Oh
All
my
right,
God,
TJ,
yeah.
since you're the first person to get to 2 questions right, I have 2 categories for you.
Oh, jeez.
Good.
All right. I have category Boys Night Out or Night at the Fights.
Oh, fuck.
Each,
All right, we just had
has
episode
3. Each category has 3 movies, and we'll play another round. And one of you has a movie tied to your name. Yeah, you know
Night
the
at
deal.
the Fights.
I want Night of the Fights, yeah. Night of the Fights.
Night of the Fights it is. Now, in this one, whatever happens, I'm going to retire the other 2 picks. It's been too long, and I want to get to my Boys Night Out movies. So,
Okay.
but don't get me wrong. I'm glad you picked this too. I'm excited. All right. Let's go. We're going into round 2. We're doing Night at the Fights. Which actress played Mama in Forrest Gump?
TJ.
TJ.
Oh, I thought it was
Sally
just for
Field.
TJ.
Sally Field. No, this is for everybody. Man,
Oh,
TJ's
shit.
gonna pull away with it. He might not have the best movie tied to his name. You guys might want to get in here.
I really thought it was only TJ.
All right. What holiday is it in E.T. the Extraterrestrial?
Yusef.
Oh, God damn it.
Yusef.
I said,
Halloween.
Yep, it's Halloween.
you bitches.
When Barry learns that people are profiting from honey in B movie, who does he sue?
Joe.
Yusef.
Ooh,
That's
that was close. I'm going to
That's
give it to
close
Joe.
me. Well, it was Big Honey or Ray Liotta.
No, because I would say Big Honey would be Hunex, which is one of the choices, but it's not the right answer. Yusef, you get second chance.
I don't know then. I thought it was Honex.
No, it's the human race. He sues the
Ooh.
whole
The human race!
But you've asked this question before.
Have I?
Yeah, I think it's the same thing last time, Ray Liotta.
What is an animated film that features the voices of Pitbull, Steven Tyler, and Beyonce?
Joe.
Joe.
Oh, this is definitely Sing.
Nope, not Sing. TJ.
Shark Tale.
No, that's a good choice. It was called It's Epic.
Oh.
That one remembers Epic.
You want to talk about a movie nobody remembers? Here's the other question on this card. I'll even give you the multiple choice on this one because I'm so sure nobody will get it. Who voices Ginormica in Monsters vs. Aliens?
Yusef.
Joe, actually,
you
know
know
that.
it? Yusef? Go
Yeah.
for it.
Reese Witherspoon.
Oh, holy shit, he got it right.
Yeah, I knew that. Yeah, it is
Let's
Reese
go,
Witherspoon.
I was sure nobody would know that one. Damn.
No, I knew that. Yusuf, I also knew that, just so you know.
Seth Rogen
All
did
right,
the block.
Yusef has 2, TJ has 1, Joe, you got nothing. I'm only going to go best of 3. So, you got to get up.
Just let it,
get in
you know
there.
what, I'm gonna forfeit and just let Yusuf and TJ
No,
battle.
I want you to come on, play spoiler. Get in it.
Yeah, you
All
bitch.
right.
Give up, you pussy.
It's a 2-hour episode.
Yeah. We're having a good time here. Oh. Hold on. I might need to get some new cards. Hold on.
This was needed.
Yeah, we need to have shitty trivia. I like shitty trivia. All right. In the 2013 film Philomena, who played the role of Philomena Lee?
Joe?
Okay, Joe.
That would be. Oh shit. Ewan McGregor?
Philomena was a lady, first of all. It was
I don't
Judi
know.
Dench. You son of a
God.
bitch. What is the name of the character that Leonardo DiCaprio plays in The Great Gatsby?
Yusef.
Uh-huh.
Gatsby.
Do you know his first name?
William.
Milton.
No, it's Jay Gatsby, but I'll give it
Thank
to you,
God.
Yusuf, so we can move on with the day.
Milton.
All right.
The famous
Now.
William Gatsby.
So, my night at the fights was everybody had a fighting movie tied to their name. I thought Yusuf had the good one tied to his name. I'm sorry, guys, he didn't.
Fuck.
So the movie we're gonna check out. You know, we've been living the last few years in a Keanu sans, but there's a movie that he made that kind of became a laughing stock, and I think it's time to revisit it. We're gonna watch 47 Ronin.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
What were the other ones?
Okay, Joe. If Joe had won, we'd be watching Ip Man.
Oh, okay.
And if TJ had won, we'd be watching Play It to the Bone.
God damn it.
All right, so these were all 4 equal.
Joe,
picks.
you had the best one and you
Yep.
fucked.
Joe did have the
This-
best one.
I
He didn't
think
come
this is
anywhere
the-
close to winning, though.
This is the worst I've ever done at trivia on
Where can
the
the
history
people
of this
find
show.
you? Where they can find you, Joe, being sucky trivia guy?
You can find me being a big bully and trying to watch
bully.
something on 4-3 on Chendango 1 on Twitter.
EJ.
You guys are on FlyOver State of Film YouTube. You guys can find me at TJ Dex on Twitter. If you are watching this episode, happy first day of spring 2023. Other than that, enjoy the episodes, guys, when they come out.
Oh, hey, you can find me on Twitter at Hercules. Looks like you can find 47 Ronin on Hulu, so that's good.
Oh,
and
good.
Yusuf, what about you, baby?
Bye.
Bye. Peace out.
Bye.
That just made me really sad
I know.
because he didn't say why I love his
I
movies.
miss why I love
Yusuf,
movies.
you have to hit stop recording.
Oh, remember to not
It's
edit
going to
this
be in
out.
now.
All of this in.
I don't know how to stop it. Oh, here it is. Stop.
Yeah, you just